And I came up with a hypothesis, but I didn't want to speak on it too soon until I had some evidence. And I got that right before market opens, and I made this tweet. So my theory was that they can't create the synthetic shares like they want to anymore. So what they're going to have to do is do a combination of dark pooling and saving up these borrowed shares in order to short and hit really hard at one time versus just creating as many as they want and battling us all day long. Welcome back, YouTube. I want to do a quick update today concerning Dogecoin and AMC. Dogecoin is still holding up at that 25 cents resistance line, and we're still in between that 22 to 25 cents window, and we've been here for a few days now, and we've gotten some good bounces in that range. So if you're long term, for me, I would understand that you could actually increase your position here, especially if you're higher. This will be a safe spot to average down. We've gotten some good bounces here, and this could be a line of resistance here for the next cycle and the next uptrend. I had some initial concern with Gary speaking today because I didn't know, based off of what he said, he could have said something, or someone off the board could have said something. Someone could have said something a little crazy, and then the crypto market, we know how quickly it can react, and then everything could have started tanking. So I was a little concerned about that, but it seems like that didn't happen, at least not as of yet. So we are good to go based off of the conversations they had today. I've mentioned this several times in the past on a few different videos. I do believe we're going to have some regulation going forward. And I do believe some regulation is necessary. The question is, how much regulation, who will it be geared toward? Because I know a lot of times they'll say, oh, this regulation is here to protect you. And then ultimately it ends up just benefiting like bigger companies and putting restrictions more so on the little guy. So I'm actually very excited to track this and to see what angle this regulation is going to come from, because I do believe that we're going to have some relatively soon as well. If you have a chance to watch the board meeting, you'll see that they consistently talked about payment for order flow, the all-time highs, i.e. the money that was flowing into the crypto sector. I'm going to get into payment for order flows in a little bit, but they mentioned that we hit around 60 all-time highs this year alone. So, and I mentioned this back on my video called Government Crypto, and I mentioned that when you're attracting this kind of money, you can expect the government to get involved. And I believe that they're also going to have like their own official currency or something like that relatively soon. But when you're hitting these highs, 60 apparently, or at least 60 apparently, you're going to attract the eyes of Uncle Sam, and he's going to be in here with some tax laws and some regulation real soon. You can bet on that. As for AMC, this morning I mentioned, like right before the market opens, I believe with like 1 minute within it open, I was checking the borrowed shares. And yesterday I was tracking it, and I saw that they didn't really borrow shares. They had around 1.1 million shares. And I came up with a hypothesis, but I didn't want to speak on it too soon until I had some evidence. And I got that right before market opens, and I made this tweet. So my theory was that they can't create the synthetic shares like they want to anymore. So what they're going to have to do is do a combination of dark pooling and saving up these borrowed shares in order to short and hit really hard at one time versus just creating as many as they want and battling us all day long. We'll see this going forward, especially tomorrow, the next few days. Like if we have a rally again and we go back above $50 while they're building up these shares to get millions again, and then they dump them all at one time, then this will certainly prove it to be correct. But I believe that's what we saw yesterday and the day before, Friday, when they were they were saving shares pretty much to dump them all at once, because we hit 0 shares before market even opened this morning. And then of course, unless it's just a coincidence, we also had the downtrend today. So they're, in my opinion, I believe that they're saving the shares and pretty much just dark pooling just enough to kind of not necessarily overwhelm it or to have to kick the shares back and forth, but they're dark pooling just enough to kind of mitigate the prices while the shares are building up so they can hit it really hard at one time. I believe this is their new tactic to kind of keep things under control and to try and get the stock trending back the other way. And we'll see where the support lines are for in the 40s. But I do believe that if this is correct, we should see an uptrend again within the next couple of days, depending on how quickly they build those shares back up. This will be very interesting to see, but it does show that these regulations are working, but they're also just becoming more creative with ways that they can try and control the price or have this go pretty much on their own time. With that being said, I don't believe it changes anything in the long term. I am 100% certain still that AMC is going to squeeze. If anything changes, I will let you know. But as of now, I don't see them or a loophole of them being able to get out of this. So AMC is still going to squeeze, but it just seems like they've come up with a new tactic to try and mitigate the prices in the meantime. That's my update for today on Dogecoin and AMC. I hope this video finds you well. Sometimes I'll have information that I won't be able to put in a video, or I don't feel it's necessary to make a video. So if you like the short burst messages from me, I'll have the link to my Telegram in the description section. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.